The Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra is by far Samsung's best Galaxy S phone yet, and while it doesn't reinvent the iconic Android handset, it moves the design, power, AI, and creative capabilities in a positive direction and without raising the price. People will be talking about the privacy display and super steady video for some time to come. Sure, there might be too many AI options on board, but overall the S26 Ultra is a winner and easily one of the best smartphones of the year. Nowadays, smartphone changes can usually be measured in millimeters and gram fractions. The era of sweeping hardware redesigns is all but done. Most of the updates we see seem to be in material swaps and growing and shrinking camera array plateaus. That's not a bad thing, certainly not judging by the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra I hold in my hand. It's eminently familiar but also stunningly powerful and aesthetically sublime, even without last year's titanium. It's not a perfect Android phone, but easily one of the best I have ever used or tested. It's the full package. A relatively slim and light big screen mobile communicator, and a powerful pocket computer that, with its hidden S Pen, can even excite creative types of compulsive note-takers. Samsung gets away with not changing much by still delivering on all the promises of a great flagship phone. It has excellent cameras, easily the best of not just the S26 lineup, but all recent Galaxy phones. It has the fastest chip, even thanks to a bit of customization from Qualcomm, outdoing the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 you might find on other Android phones. The S26 Ultra hides a pair of truly remarkable features that are not evident at first glance but will surely be the most talked about updates for some time to come. One is the privacy display, a true bit of display hardware innovation that has no equivalent on any other modern smartphone. Then there is the built-in gimbal. Strike that, it's not really a gimbal, just a wild bit of hardware and software engineering that lets you turn your camera up to 360 degrees while keeping the footage perfectly labeled. It's a handset overstuffed with AI possibilities, adding this time perplexity to Bixby and upping the creative and assistive capabilities of Galaxy AI. Google uses the S26 Ultra to give us a sneak preview of the agentic possibilities soon arriving on Pixels and all other supporting Android phones. The list of AI abilities is long, overwhelming, and perhaps too much. It's not a weakness per se, but I still don't know why one phone has so many. But then you also might wonder why the iPhone 17 Pro Max still has so few. Samsung backs up the power and performance of this smartphone with way better heat and power management and excellent battery life. And to top it all off, it's still $1,299 US. That's not affordable, but it is the same price as last year, which is more than can be said for the Galaxy S26 and S26 Plus. There is not enough here to trade in your still wonderful S25 Ultra, but it would be a big leap from say the S23 Ultra or anything earlier, and will undoubtedly end up atop our best Android phones buying guide. Samsung unveiled the Galaxy S26 Ultra along with the S26 Plus and S26 on February 25 as part of its Unpacked event. It ships on March 11, 2026. While the Galaxy S26 and S26 Plus saw price hikes, the Galaxy S26 Ultra still cost the same in the US as the Galaxy S25 Ultra did last year, $1,299 US. It's available in a choice of 6 colors wherever you buy: cobalt violet, sky blue, black, white, and the online exclusives silver shadow and pink gold. The phone ships in either 256GB, 512GB or 1TB storage configurations, and every variant comes with 12GB of RAM, 16GB of RAM if you buy the 1TB model. If you go for more storage space, you will pay somewhat more than did you last year. In the US, the 1TB model is now $1,799 US, roughly $140 more than the last year. The Galaxy S26 Ultra is still a little more expensive than the base iPhone 17 Pro Max, and both do start with 256GB of storage and offer comparable features. However, the S26 Ultra does include the integrated S Pen and all of that onboard AI. For now, the Galaxy S26 Ultra might be the better value. Leading from the rear, the Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge has had significant influence on the look of the entire Galaxy S26 lineup. Now here is this more evident perhaps than in the new Galaxy S26 Ultra. At a glance, the 6.9-inch S26 Ultra looks a lot like the S25 Ultra, but if that new raised camera array looks familiar, it's because it's clearly based on the S25 Edge's two-camera platform. The platform makes sense when you realize the S26 Ultra is slightly thinner and lighter than its predecessor. The S26 Ultra has a slightly softer and more pleasing look thanks to the four corners adopting a more curved profile. Samsung also swapped out a key material, trading titanium for armor aluminum. Honestly, it's not something most people will notice, and I wonder if it helped Samsung save a little money on production costs. The other benefit might be that aluminum, a softer material, makes it easier to apply a wider variety of richer colors. My cobalt violet review unit is lovely, but I would have liked to see a few wilder hue swings like deep green or orange. As you would expect, the screen is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass Armor 2 and the back by Gorilla Glass Victus 2. These materials should help protect it from scratches and cracks. Beyond those updates and changes, nothing has changed. The power or sleep or Gemini button and long volume button are in essentially the exact same spots. There are a pair of microphone holes along the top edge. On the base are the SIM slot, speaker slot, and USB-C charge port. Next to that trio is the S Pen. You press it to release the pen, which looks quite similar to the last S Pen but is in fact slightly thinner. I didn't find that it made any noticeable difference in usability. The entire phone is still rated IP68, which means it can handle a rain shower and dust. Think about the design this way. If you liked the looks of the S25 Ultra, you'll probably like the S26 Ultra. Sure, the camera bump grew, but it is generally an attractive, big screen Android smartphone with fresh colors to attract those who found the titanium hues wanting. Samsung left its 6.9-inch dynamic AMOLED display mostly unchanged. It still offers up to 3120 by 1440 QHD plus resolution. It has the same brightness and ability to smoothly transition from 1 Hz for a sleep screen to the buttery smooth motion of 120 Hz. There is still a selfie camera cutout near the top of the display and a very thin channel between the frame and the screen for one of the loud and clear stereo speakers. The marquee feature, and one that is in fact unique among smartphones, is the privacy display. As the name implies, this feature adjusts the screen so that people standing on either side of you, behind you, or even in front of you cannot read what is on your display. There are a few remarkable things about this feature. First, it's a hardware innovation accomplished by controlling two different kinds of pixels, narrow and wide. These pixels are set in every other pixel pattern, wide, narrow, wide, narrow. In standard mode, both pixels are on, providing a 180-degree view of your S26 Ultra screen. In privacy display mode, the white pixels turn off, and then anyone off axis only sees a grayed out or nearly black screen unless their face is perpendicular to the S26 Ultra display. Here is the other remarkable thing. Because this is a pixel level, the privacy display can be set only hide a portion of a screen. Think notification pop-ups, password, and PIN entry. You can access display privacy through settings or the quick panel. On there, it lets you turn it on for the whole screen or set conditions, PIN, pattern, password, and notification pop-ups. I turned on privacy display and could immediately see it at work. First, I noticed that my own screen view looked slightly desaturated. Second, the default privacy display mode isn't that effective, and I could still make out the dimmed content even when viewing the screen from an angle. To really see the magic, you have to turn on maximum privacy protection. Once I did that, my screen looked almost black from an off angle, and the same was true when I set it for conditions like only blacking out my notification pop-ups. The third and perhaps best privacy display feature is that you can enable it on a per app basis. Imagine you don't want anyone see what your TikTok or Instagram algorithm looks like. Just turn on privacy display for those apps, and whenever you use them, they will only be visible to you. I set it up for my TikTok and Instagram, and it worked perfectly. This is the kind of feature I expect competitors like Apple, OnePlus, Motorola, and others to copy in short order. Privacy display will change the equation when deciding which S26 is right for you, and could tip the scales in Samsung's favor when considering a platform switch. Direct comparisons of the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra with, say, Apple's iPhone 17 Pro Max don't entirely make sense. After all, only one of them has shipped with an integrated S Pen since the Galaxy S22 Ultra. As an amateur artist, I love having the S Pen always on hand, perfectly hidden inside a powerful Android 16 smartphone. The latest S Pen looks a lot like the last one, but it is slightly thinner and the back end is now curved to match the curve of its S26 Ultra housing. In use, this S Pen is just as useful as its predecessors. It's a great implement for note-taking, marking up images, creating rough sketches for AI image generation, and making art. It recognizes pressure and orientation. There is even a button on the side that in the Sketchbook app gives you instant access to an eraser. The S26 Ultra is also aware of the S Pen, and if it's been outside the phone and not used for a while, the phone will ask you if you have your S Pen. Before we dive into the photographic performance of the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra, let's pause a moment to look at the virtually unchanged camera array and selfie camera. The main camera is 200 megapixel and f1.4 aperture. The 5x telephoto is 50 megapixel, also provides the 10x zoom through a sensor crop. Its aperture is f2.9. The 3x optical lens is 10 megapixel f2.4 aperture. The ultra-wide is 50 megapixel f1.9 aperture, and the front-facing camera is 12 megapixel f2.2 aperture. What's not evident there too are two significant changes on the 200 megapixel main camera and 10 megapixel 5x optical zoom. Both camera features wider apertures, which allows them to capture more light and makes them more effective in low light situations. In practice, this is an excellent set of lenses, and based on megapixels, they all beat the iPhone 17 Pro Max's 48 megapixel lenses. However, even on the 200 megapixel camera, you will be default to shooting at a pixel binding 12 megapixel. The iPhone 17 Pro Max defaults to shooting at 24 megapixel. I shot photos using all the cameras, often capturing the exact same image with the Galaxy S25 Ultra and iPhone 17 Pro Max. All of these phones offer excellent cameras, and I found the image quality generally excellent. If anything, the S26 Ultra appears to have pulled even with the iPhone 17 Pro Max in most photo scenarios. Samsung told me that their image processing now allows the phone to understand the native noise signature of each lens and adjust accordingly. What this means is my photo results are clearer and cleaner. Between that, the larger apertures and low light photography, especially nighttime photography, shows a significant improvement. I noticed far less graininess in my star photography. Here are some camera samples of the new Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. Few phones illustrate our oversaturated era of generative AI more than the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. It has Bixby, Perplexity, Samsung Galaxy AI, and of course Google Gemini. Each has a role, some multiple roles, and there can be some overlap. Samsung's long-term goal is for people to see this as an AI phone but not think very much about which AI got you where. Basically, the phone will get smarter over time, especially as its agentic capabilities grow and start to proactively do your bidding. We are not there yet. In fact, the agentic stuff which lives with Gemini is only with Uber for now. You are supposed to able to ask Gemini to book you an Uber ride and it will run off in the background. Gather all the relevant bits and have it set up in Uber, so all you have to do is approve the ride. I installed Uber on the Galaxy S26 Ultra and then asked Gemini to book me a ride to the airport. Gemini told me that it could help, but it first asked for key information like my pickup address, pickup time, and the kind of ride I prefer. Gemini told me it had booked the ride, but when I checked Uber, nothing was booked. I told Gemini to cancel the ride, but Gemini couldn't do anything about the non-existent ride. In general, too, my experience with Gemini was good. I had many conversations with it and used it to identify things in my shelves, and with the live view, have it explain how to fix a leaky bathroom faucet. It's far from foolproof and has yet to learn how to pronounce my last name. Gemini on the S26 Ultra is also showcase for what's coming to other Android smartphones that can support the generative platform. For example, the phone supports Circle to Search's new Find the Look capabilities. This lets you circle someone's whole outfit in an image and Gemini will find all the clothing. Samsung's own Galaxy AI is already a powerful and pervasive generative AI platform on the Galaxy S phone line. However, it now has some features. I used it, for example, to make a simple cartoon sketch of my face and then transform it into a more polished comic, which I then used to generate stickers that I can now send to friends over messages. Galaxy AI's photo editing capabilities are very strong. I grabbed an apple, put it on a table and took a photo. Then I asked Google AI to take a slice out of the apple and put the slice next to the apple. After a few seconds, it compiled and the results look real. When I had it take another AI shot at the photo, I noticed that the slice and the cutout on the apple didn't match up quite as neatly as they did on the first generated shot. Bixby is better at conversational queries, but it can still take some work to get Samsung's homegrown digital assistant to do what you want. I asked it to change the aspect ratio on my photos to 16:9, but had to repeat myself a few times to make it understand. Saying 16:9 did the trick. For questions that do not relate to the phone, Bixby now has Perplexity AI. If you ask, as I did, about the capital of Montana, Bixby won't hesitate but will tap directly into Perplexity in the cloud to get the answer. You'll notice that the result has a little Perplexity logo on it. The Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra has a collection of Now features, including Now Brief, which shows up as a home screen widget, Now Bar for adaptive reminders, and the new Now Nudge, which can give you contextual reminders and information where and when you need it. Now Brief is a fine widget with information about the weather, my schedule, and news, but I didn't find much use in the rest of the Now tools. I think I need to spend more time with the phone and let it learn a whole lot more about me before these tools become truly useful. Last year, Samsung unveiled its powerful audio erase, which can remove distracting background audio from your videos. You can reduce voices, crowd sounds, and background noises with customizable sliders for each control. It's effective, but if you turn the noise reduction all the way down, voices can end up sounding a bit robotic. More intriguing is Audio Eraser's new third-party app capabilities, which you access via the quick panel. I tried it with TikTok and YouTube and could tell it sharpened and raised the dialogue a bit over background noises, but otherwise did not find it all that useful. I like many of these AI tools, but I do think the system is a bit overloaded with options. I look forward to a time when there is more consistent AI approach with zero redundancy. If one onboard AI can handle a task, there should not be another waiting in the wings to do the exact same thing. Every year, Samsung gets the fastest available Snapdragon for its flagship smartphone, and every year it convinces Qualcomm to customize the chip, squeezing out a few extra gigahertz of speed just for its phones. In truth, the Qualcomm Snapdragon Gen 8 Elite 5 for Galaxy is about more than just speed. It's customized to work better for the Galaxy S26 series across a range of tasks. Samsung claimed that it brings faster CPU, GPU, and NPU performance. This translates into better Geekbench benchmarks than the similarly named Snapdragon chips in last year's Galaxy S25 Ultra. Single-core and multi-core scores eclipse those on Apple's A19 Pro. GPU screens are harder to compare to. The iPhone 17 Pro Max silicon appears to be significantly ahead of those on the S26 Ultra. Benchmark numbers tell you little about real-world performance in everyday use. That last Ultra was fast, and this new S26 Ultra is fast. There is enough headroom that I doubt anyone will notice the difference. The NPU powers some pretty impressive local AI. I played PUBG and Asphalt 9 Legends on the phone and was impressed with how the games looked and the smooth and fast performance. Better yet, the S26 Ultra never got warm. I will credit the new vapor chamber with the cooler performance. The Galaxy S26 Ultra CPU is backed by 12GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. I can get 16GB of RAM if I pay for the pricey 1TB model. Overall, this is a fast device ready to accomplish a range of tasks, including running some impressive local AI models. I am honestly impressed by the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra's battery life, even with brightness turned up. The screen refresh rate set to a max 120Hz and resolution turned up to QHD+, it carried well past 25 hours of operation. If I lower the brightness and work with Full HD+ resolution, it can last 2 days on a charge. The 3nm Qualcomm Snapdragon chip is efficient, and the One UI 8.5 platform knows how to squeeze the most life out of a single charge. Recharging can be done with a 45-watt charger, reaching 75% in about 35 minutes. A 65-watt wired charge could reportedly do the same in 30 minutes. I had my phone fully charged in under an hour. The phone supports fast wireless charging with up to a 25-watt charger. What's missing, though, is any kind of MagSafe style support. There are no magnets in the back of the S26 Ultra, which is a bit of surprise considering we got Pixel Snap on Google Pixel 10 phones. Samsung is only promising that all the cases it sells will come with the built-in magnets. The S26 Ultra sticks closely to the familiar Galaxy formula, but it is one that clearly works. Performance is blazing, Samsung's software ecosystem is extensive, and photography largely keeps pace with the Western competition. The S Pen continues to have its vocal supporters, and Privacy Display can legitimately claim to be the most interesting new phone tech of 2026. Anyone demanding the biggest batteries or best camera sensors probably started shopping elsewhere a few generations back, and the S26 Ultra's minimal gains on the later haven't done anything to change that. The pro-level video features, while very sleek, don't have mainstream appeal. Samsung AI's seeping into every aspect of the operating system is beginning to grate too. But there's safety in what you know, and a lot of people have a Samsung phone in their pocket already. Spec snobs may not like it, but this is almost certainly the flagship Android phone for the majority of US and European buyers.